And now let's look at this story together and relate it with that of Ruth. Now, calamity befell Ruth, but because she was not far away from her discipler, so she was able to go back to her discipler, discipler, there was this warmth that was between herself and her discipler, just as we have it in the case of Jesus and his disciples as well.
Yeah, you're welcome back to Why Waiting with Titilayo and John Hajaho. I want to say good afternoon, good evening, good morning, anytime you're watching.
Okay, welcome to the 20th episode of Why Waiting. We welcome you. So, today we want to look at the role of discipleship during heartbreak. Okay, just as we said that this series, we're looking at heartbreak generally, okay, especially on relationship. So we want to look at the role of discipleship. Of course, our case study is still Ruth, and then her discipler, Naomi. And that's what we see there. So Naomi. Now, in briefly of the narration, when both of them lost their husband, Ruth remained, while Oprah went back to her people. So I want us to consider three major things today under this discipleship, and then that is submission, commitment, and then obedience in discipleship. Why do you think it is important to submit to discipleship when one has heartbreak or before one has heartbreak?
All right, to avoid heartbreak,
Okay.
I'll say that as a Christian, you don't stay alone. As a youth, as a teenager, as any age you are, you are not too young to have somebody sitting on you because someone has gone through before you.
Right.
So now that when you have someone you call a discipler is somebody not that you look from afar.
Okay.
Someone you move closer to. It's someone who knows about you.
Just as we have in the case of Ruth.
Yes.
Okay.
It's someone who that when something happened in the middle of the night you can call. So that's the place of the commitment. So when you say, okay, I have a father, maybe Papa is my father in the Lord, they must be someone who knows you. They know your movements, they know where you're going to. What are you doing now? What is your relationship with God? Okay. And what is your relationship maybe with anyone around you? Okay. They may even tell you what the mind of God is, but they will not force it on you. They will not force it on you. So they may have seen the danger in that relationship. But as youths, if you want to do your own thing, maybe I hear the Lord and they allow, and then eventually maybe it leads to that. It leads to eventually yourself to break fast. Then yourself break fast. So it is the moment whereby you go back to God and God and then go back to them. Okay. So the moment of heartbreak is not the moment whereby you step back.
Okay. So what I can quickly deduce from what you're saying is that even before going into relationship, it is essential to submit to discipleship.
Yes, okay, not only when you have heartbreak.
Okay.
So now let us say that you don't know about it when you're watching this now, and you have now have heartbreak. Yes, you must have a spiritual father, a spiritual couples, a spiritual couples who can direct you, who can help you, because where you are going, they have been there before you.
So now there are two instances where the Bible made mention of this, the disciples crossing the waters. Now there was a time he sent them forth, he wasn't with them, right? And he knew that trouble would come over them. Then he went to meet them. Right. Then the other time, they even took him along.
Yes.
But he was just in the inner part, he was sleeping. And then at the time the storm came, they tried to do it their own way. Until they went to go and call him.
Yes.
This is a very important thing. And now, let's look at this story together and relate it with that of Ruth. Now, calamity befell Ruth, but because she was not far away from her discipler, so she was able to go back to her discipler, there was this warmth that was between herself and her discipler, just as we have it in the case of Jesus and his disciples as well. So it is a great lesson that, number one, before even anything called relationship or heartbreak, submit to discipleship. And as my wife has said, possibly you don't even know about that before, and then you have now been served breakfast, maybe you are even eating lunch at the moment now. It's okay. So we are not here to tempt you, but we're just saying that prayerfully, be led, prayerfully choose, prayerfully submit to
a couple who can check into your life.
Those who are spiritual, those whose lives are reputable, those whose lives are after Christ, those that you know that these ones are following the Lord, they are serving the Lord Christ, and they can sit over you, they can mentor you, they can direct your path in the path of the Lord. So that is one about submission.
That's the place of submission.
Yes, submission. Then commitment. Now, yes, I see in commitment, Luke chapter 1, verse 16 and 17 that we read last week. Now, we saw how Luke said, your people will be my people, your God will be my God. Wherever you die, I will die. And that is a sense of commitment. So it means that commitment also brings about openness.
Yes, so being open.
Yes, being open. You
don't do it by yourself.
Yes, you don't have to live and say that, I don't want to bother them. Or, it's my private life, it's my private and I've been serving breakfast. Okay, let me just eat it alone.
When Jesus said, come unto me.
Yes, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest.
We want to move forward from that thing, keeping happening in your life. It's because lots of people have been serving breakfast. Breakfast 1, 2, 3. If you don't want to let it continue, you need to be open up. So you have to open when you are bringing your yoke to Jesus' feet. You are bringing it open.
That's right.
If it is 12, bring it open.
Yes,
if it is 20, bring it open.
Another thing I love about in discipleship is the door of the disciples are always open
every day.
That's just the joy there. So you can be rest assured that their door will not be shut at you. Jesus Christ was sleeping. Like that call, that book of Mark chapter 4, that call of Jesus from the sleep was like a disturbance, humanly speaking. But he rose to that event, he rose to that circumstance. And they were like, don't you care if we perish? And so they're like, this is what I'm going through now. And Jesus rose to that, he rose to that event.
And the same thing with Ruth and his mother-in-law that we're looking at. Yes. You see that when he said, where you go, I'll go. Your people will be my people. Your God will be my God. Naomi does not say, go back.
Yeah, that's right.
She took her along when you know that the Moabite and the, what's it called? And the people of Bethlehem, they are not even 5 and 7. But it took her along. They will take you along. No matter what you're going through, once you are being open to them, they are ready to share your burden with you.
This is good. And then let's briefly just talk about intentionality as well. Yes, just as you've mentioned the other time, see, discipleship is not a compulsion, but it is very, very essential for your life. We see this in the life of Naomi as well. Naomi was like, go back. I can't give birth to any child now. Just go back. No, it is not every persuasion you should accept. If you want the best for your life, in discipleship, your disciple can say, okay, go and do it by yourself. But see, common sense that is not common must tell you that, sir, ma, please guide me, lead me. Because this generation, we are people that we think we know it all. We think we can do it our own way. And so when they say, okay, go and do your own way, you think that's freedom. No, it is not. So meaning that Ruth herself could have even gone back.
Yes.
While Naomi was go back. But she was intentional. So another thing we see here when we bring discipleship into Heartbreak is be intentional. Be real that you really want to submit to discipleship. You really need help. And you want to commit. And yes, that you need help. Be true to yourself. That's the point there. Then finally, let's look at obedience.
Yes, obedience the place of obedience. Yes. We still have to dwell more on this place of roots. But for so many of us and our viewers who are familiar with this scriptures, we see there that Naomi tell Ruth that, okay, this is what you should do.
That's right.
Okay, this is the place of farming you should go to, and she followed.
That's right.
She didn't say, why this Boaz? Why can't I go to other elsewhere? Is it only Boaz? She listens. Now, not only listens, she obeyed. And she carried it out. And we know that obedience is better than sacrifice. And when you are submitting to a discipler, before heartbreak and when you're going through heartbreak period, there are some instructions that God may use them to tell you.
Give to you, that's right.
And there are some things they also, because they know you,
that's right,
there's something they want you to correct as a lady, our sisters, and as our brothers. Brother Lagbaja, this character you're still portraying is nothing. I remember my disciple telling us that, John and this, and it's why you bad got to they knows that if our life is not what God wants us to do, there is nothing.
That's it.
There is nothing. So your discipler God is using them to guide you. So you must be obedient.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
must be obedient. If you want a turnaround, if you want a way forward, because we see it later end of roots.
Yeah, of course.
We see the later end of
we're still going to get there.
Going to get
Okay,
there.
now, let me just put this there in this place of obedience. See, you are in a strange land. Okay, the disciples have gone ahead of you. Just as my wife said the other time, is it experience? Is it spiritual maturity? That's why you have to choose somebody prayerfully, those who are matured, those who are ahead of you. Now, in the case of Ruth and Naomi, Bethlehem was her land.
Yes.
She was older in age. She knew everything in that terrain.
And she knows when she is ready, when she fits to settle down. Because she has been with her when they are inside the house. So she knows that, okay,
this lady is ready.
This lady is not yet ready. But when she ready, she said, this is now I must prepare.
Yeah, that's right.
For your what?
This is essential. No matter how experienced you think you might be, your disciples are more experienced. On this episode, we have to just wrap it up, and then we have looked at the submission to discipleship. We have looked at commitment to discipleship, meaning that nothing about you should be hidden from your disciples.
You must be committed.
Then the third thing is obedience. Whatever thing they say to you, do. Our viewers, we want to appreciate you.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for every of your prayers is getting to us, and thank you for your questions.
That's right.
Oftentimes. So thank you. Please keep sending your questions. Say so we come again next week.
Be intentional about your life.
Because the best is still in you.
God bless you.
Bye.